Hello, my name is Sindrex and welcome to this overview of the Boolean prototype. Um, so we'll get right into it. This is the menu screen. You have the usual quit. The options are not in yet. And then you have the puzzle. You can go ahead and choose puzzles. There's only 3 puzzles in this prototype. They uh, they check out the logic gates, the basic logic gates, so they're not that hard, in my opinion. We have then the main focus really, which is the sandbox. You can go in here. You can make a new world. You can enter a name. I think all symbols are appropriate. You can also load worlds. I have made a world, so we'll load that in just a second. Then you can delete world, and they'll be deleted forever. So we'll go into the new world here, and you can check here. You might have seen this prototype here in my Twitter. So we'll get right into it. So what is the mechanics here? How does it work? And to answer that, it's really simple. Boolean mechanics and Boolean logic or Boolean algebra really is all about on and off. Things that are either zeros or ones. They're either on or off. That's it. And doesn't. But even if it's that simple, just 2 values really, you can make so much, and we can make computers, which is what I'm recording this on, and what you'll probably be playing this on, and the video you're watching, everything on and off. That's it. That's it really. Uh, so that's what I've visualized here. I have a wire and a button, or switch in this case, which when unpowered is red and when powered is green, which should be pretty easy to see. And then beside us here we have one of the most crucial tiles you can have. This is an inverter really. It just inverts the uh, signal that is coming from the other side. So if the signal is on, this one will be off, and if it's not on, it will be on. And that's so simple, but it's the most important tool really we can have when building with this and making creations, making stuff. This allows us to make, as we see, logic gates. I have here 4 logic gates. They're the most basic logic gates you can think of. This one, if you think that this line is the output in every case, when this is an OR gate, so the output will be on if either of the inputs is on. It doesn't really matter which one. And here we have the NOR. It's basically just an inverted OR, uh, which will be off when either of these or both, doesn't really matter, are on. Then here we have the NAND, uh, which is a not AND, and to the side of it we have the AND also as well. So this will be on while it will be off while both inputs are on, but not just one of them. Both must be on to make this go off. And then the AND is the inverted of NAND then, which means when both are on, the output will be on. But if just one is on, the output won't be on. And this is a really helpful logic gate, which I use a lot. And then with logic gates like this, we can make some really cool things. So first off, this is a memory circuit because it's an RS NOR latch. So what it does is it remembers what side you really you you power last, so to say. So if I power this side, it will stay that side. And if I power this side, it will stay on that side. So we can remember things, really. And over here we have a more complicated circuit, which it's really, there's two ANDs right here going into an OR, and then there's an XOR. I haven't talked about those. It's a more complicated OR, exclusive OR, uh, and an XOR here. So this is a full adder. And what a full adder really means is that when I click on this button, this one will be on. But if I also power this button, or this switch really, that will go off and this one will be on. So there are three switches as you see here. So you can think of this switch means 1. So now, and this output here also means 1, but this output means 2. Okay, so if I power this one, you can see that 1 equals 1. Okay, that's simple. If I add 1 with 1, it equals 2 and 0. So 2. Easy. And we also have this carry in, which means basically we can have more of these adders alongside each other and carry into each other, so that if I have 1 here and I have 1 from the other side, it's equals to 2. Easy. And 0. And if I then have 2 and I add 1, it will be 2 and 1. So it's a full adder. Now we'll go over the tiles you have at your disposal in Boolean. So there are 15 tiles in general, in total. There will probably be a few more as I work with it in the future, but we have, as you see, we have the wires, different wires, and then we have the NOT gate or the inverter. We have the one-way wire, which is basically means that the power can only be sent in the direction of the pointer. As you see, can only be sent one way. And then you have the switch, which will stay on for as long as you want until you click it off. And then we have the button, which is kind of like the switch, but it will unpower itself after a time period. Then we have the layer, which it's as the name suggests, a tile that delays the power. So right now, if I click this button, you can see that there's a little delay, and if I right-click this delay, the setting will go up really, and also the delay. So we can delay as much as we want, and we can also have more of them if we want to delay even more, and so on. And the delayer can take from either side, doesn't really matter, though it kind of looks like it only can take from one side, but it can take from either side. Then we have what I call the hop wire. Really, it's just a crossing of wires so that they don't really interact with each other, but one wire can go underneath another, or in my case, it hops over, kinda. That's what I was thinking. So yeah, you can see what it does, really. And that's Also very helpful when making complicated circuits. And then we have the lamps, which are meant to really just uh, be distinguished from the rest of the wires, so that you can make visualized stuff, make screens or 7-segment displays and so on. Yeah, that was the tiles. And now if we go over to building, the you can see the action bar right here, and by scrolling with the mouse scroll you can select which one you have, and then you just left click on a tile to place it, and you can place yeah, wherever you want really. You can't place on top of each other, so you'll have to place like this. And then if you hold space and then scroll, you will switch the active tile here with the active tile over here. So, and they'll just swap like this. They'll swap. Uh, so then you can really just take what you need and then build away. You can also, of course, delete tiles you've placed, and then what you do is just while hovering over, you can click R, and then it will be deleted. Or while you are dragging it around like this, and to drag it, you just left click and hold. You can also click R to delete it. You can also rotate it, which it's very useful, of course, which you can rotate to the left with E and to the right with Q. Maybe if I use one of these, it'll be more easy to see. You can rotate like this with Q and E. And then we're over to some of the more one of the bigger tools really at your disposal. If I make something like this and then I click a tile and I hold, you will see you get this selection. And what this selection really is, it means that all the tiles within the selection are now selected, and you can then, while selecting, you can move the selected tiles, which is really helpful. And you can duplicate it, which is this button here. And what duplicating means is you basically take a copy, and then you have to take a copy like this. Then you have to, by clicking the button, and then you have to move the copy away like this, and then it will be placed. So that's very helpful if you have, like, say you have this adder here and you don't want to make this 5 times, so you just select it and then you duplicate it and move them around as you would. And similarly, if you have something or a large area you want to delete, you can just select it and click R, and most of the things should go away. Some bugs are still, it's just a prototype. Yes, I think that that covers the building really, and you should be able to make complicated structures that work, hopefully. You then have the button up here, which is the expand. because you can see that you have a confined area right here. It looks kind of big, but if you're making complicated structures or you're making a calculator, you're gonna use a lot of space, which you might need more space really. So then I've made this UI, which there are pluses, minuses, and you can click here and, for example, here to expand the play area really. So this would be up, this would be to the right, and then you can click close or accept, and we'll see what it does. As you can see, it creates these new tiles which you can place, and of course some bugs are needed in the end. And the play area is expanded. You also have this button underneath it, which is open up this controls panel, which really just says how you use and everything. Really, I've said up to now. You can cancel it too. So that's real nice if there's something you forgot. And then the only thing left is to really go out, save your progress, and be on your merry way. So if you click use escape, you'll get to this paused. This paused UI. The game isn't really paused at all, but you get her anyway. So you can save your progress, and the little save icon, save text should pop up to indicate that it is saved. And then you can exit to the menu, or you can exit to the desktop, which closes the application, or you can just cancel and continue. Yes. I think that was it for Boolean. You can check it out. The download is in the description, should be. There's also my Twitter there, where I post. I hope to post regular at least, and I hope you enjoyed. Really, it's a fun game, and it's fun developing. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.